We've only seen her a handful of times. And of course, she is a busy young mother. She's gone through probably the hardest year of her life. She has gone through some pretty grueling treatment, major surgery, and psychologically having to come to terms with a cancer diagnosis. It's a lot. And I think to be able to go through that and to still be out there addressing, facing, supporting the public. I mean, we look to the royals at times like this to lead the nation in remembrance. It's incredibly important. I think there would have been, not criticism, but people would have wondered if she hadn't been there. She obviously put a lot of effort into being there, and I think to then be criticised for how she looks, I don't know why it happens, and as you say, it feels like we're going back a few months when there was all of that Kate-spiracy, as it was called on the internet, about why she hadn't been seen in public. And you would have thought that perhaps people might have learned. The reason, of course, we now know she wasn't in public was because of what she was coming to terms with, and yet that doesn't seem to be enough to just educate people to perhaps think and take a breath before posting or tweeting or saying. Just remember that we are dealing with human beings.
Exactly. And there was the second part to it. OK, so the initial tweet was deleted and the person in question apologised and said it was insensitive. But for me, even the more confusing part was the follow-up, which was the apology video, which this is where we really went back in time. It was creating a platform for discussion about how sick Kate was, exactly what was wrong with her. And bearing in mind, she's put herself out there in a way we haven't really seen from the royals in sharing how she's felt about her health journey. She's given us more information than she had to. And I think that people have largely respected that. And so for there to be a platform again for dissection of what's wrong with her and whether she's reacted the right way to it, whether she's had too much time off work, which was one of the sort of subtexts of the apology video, I think that was really disappointing. And as you say, she's a human being. People that are watching on and that draw inspiration from Kate and Charles throughout the whole year of them getting on with work and getting back into life. She stepped out, she's doing her job, people really happy to see her, and immediately it's about her appearance. And I think that would be really disappointing and difficult for just other people that see themselves in Kate.
Yeah, I just can't understand why her appearance there on Remembrance Day attracts. It wasn't just that one tweet. There was other things going on. There's other people, that seems to say Kate-spiracies come up with these kind of ideas. But I was there. She appeared with Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. Because Queen Camilla wasn't. We'll talk about this later, but she's had a chest infection. So Catherine would have stood next to Queen Camilla, but Sophie came in. And as we were watching her, Princess of Wales actually looked very happy. So I know some pictures she looked like she was very sad, and it was very, because it is quite emotional when you're down there at the cenotaph. But she looked like she was enjoying herself. She was with Sophie. She was relaxed. And when the Princess of Wales went to walk back in, did you see the Duchess of Edinburgh placed her hand on the back of on the back of Kate? I thought that was nice.
It was a very simple gesture, wasn't it? But I think in that moment you just see that clearly she has been a support to Catherine. They get on very well. They're very close. The Duchess of Edinburgh and the Princess of Wales. And I think that's just a reminder that, as well as being these role models that people look up to, and the King obviously being head of state, they are just ordinary, normal people. And I think there's nothing more levelling than something like a critical illness, actually, to enable people to empathise with the royals. And I think that connection and empathy is something that has really come out of this year. It is just, as you say, Bronte, very disappointing that when it comes to an important event like this, the focus for some is on the princess's appearance rather than the fact that she's actually there. Yeah, I
don't want to give too much oxygen to the kind of negative comments and stuff like that, but before we move on, this year has been tough for both William and Catherine and everything that's gone on, and also the comments, the reaction as we're talking about, and the disbelieving, certain elements of her story. Cast your mind back to a couple of years ago, and the Duchess of Sussex said that she believed that she was one of the most bullied people in the world. Can we now say that the Princess of Wales has taken that mantle, taken that title?
I think that all members of the royal family have had their moments of being sort of under scrutiny, a lot of scrutiny, and something that a lot of other high-profile figures don't really get the same level of. I think that what we've seen this year, that flashpoint earlier this year, particularly around February, March with Kate, when there was mystery surrounding why she was absent from the public eye, I think that was a moment of that would have left them with a lot of shock, Kate and William, because they had never really experienced it to that level before. I think that does equate to bullying. But I also think that something that is quite heartwarming is that Kate and William seem to have a lot of public support on their side, particularly in Britain, and there's a fierce protectiveness that I think we've seen a lot of this year. And I think hopefully that kind of counterbalances, you know, the aspects of bullying in the darkest corners of the internet.
I mean, it's kind of fine to criticise the Duchess of Sussex for some comments she makes about the royal family, or Harry for his actions against the royal family, or Prince Andrew. You know, it's kind of almost fine to, but it's when it's personal against somebody who's gone through a really difficult year and had cancer that I've really struggled to kind of understand why on earth people are getting involved. But there we go.
Particularly when she has shared so much. Yeah. She has shared along the way, and I think that part should be respected.
Now, one thing that is positive, let's get from the negativity, let's forget what happened at Remembrance, is it's nearly Christmas. Well, it's not really Christmas, it's November.
Well, it is nearly Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, the John Lewis advert has come out.
Yeah, so then you know it's nearly Christmas.
But the Princess of Wales has shared the news that she is well enough to hold her carol concert this year. Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, I really am, because I think 2024 did not start the way that anyone expected or hoped it would. I mean, when you think back to January, Matt, we were really looking forward to loads of the big projects that the Prince of Wales was going to be doing. And obviously, a lot of that's been put on the back burner. Her early years work, particularly, there were tours that were planned, and none of that's been able to happen. So I feel that the year ends on a note of hope and optimism for her. And I think that's hugely, hugely important, that she's able to not just host, but she's going to attend this event. She's been working on it behind the scenes. I'm predicting a big family turnout. I think the Middletons will all be there. I think the children will all be there. You know, this is Catherine's baby. This is very much her thing. I think she's done this for the past 4 years. She loves it. She's passionate about it. She's going to have a great turnout of celebrities. There's going to be wonderful music. The Abbey is going to be beautifully dressed for Christmas, and she looks forward to it, as do the children. So I think it's just a way of ending what has clearly been a very turbulent and difficult year on a high. So I'm delighted. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think lots of people will be tuning in to watch it on ITV on Christmas Eve.
Well, it's become not just a fixture in her calendar, it's a fixture in our calendar.
Absolutely,
on Christmas Eve it comes on. It's interesting that that the Palace has said that, because every year they're themed. OK, so there's a certain theme. It might be around a certain charity or a certain event that's happened this year. This year, it'll be themed to reflect the importance of love and empathy. OK? And we'll give time to reflect on how much we need each other, especially in the most difficult times of our lives.
I think we're going to see a lot of this from the royals moving forward. There's going to be, I think that they all would have had a lot of personal reflection and change throughout the year, because it has been such a challenging year for all of them. We've really heard about that from William recently. And I think that it's nice that they're getting on with business, so to speak, and getting back to some normalcy, but they are bringing with them this sort of newfound understanding and care and reflection of the time with family and the things that are important. I think we're going to see a lot of that moving forward. It's going to become part of, you know, events exactly like this. And we also know that, to further what you were saying before, is that Kate has been looking forward to this event, because you can tell there's been whispers of her wanting to come back and make this something that she was able to return for, and this is going back months. So the fact that we are at the point now where it is happening and it's been confirmed is really exciting.